Today in our video we'll be talking about digestive and excretory health. What is a digestive health? What is excretory health? Right? We do understand that a big part of our system is our digestive system, and how we excrete is really how we pass out the waste out of our bodies, right? So we want to focus today as your wellness coaches on how it is that the digestive system works, how our excretory system works, and why it's important for us to be digesting properly, why it's important for us to excrete that waste, why it impacts our health, mental health, our physical health, just our whole being, right? So with me today is Mr. Wendell Rankin, and I'm Renee Dixon, and we just really want to share with you what we have learned about the importance of our digestive health and excretory system. So, Wendell, what can we tell the people today about their digestive system and why it's important to excrete properly?
All right.
Hey.
So, hi everybody. So, the digestive system essentially is how we're fed, how the food gets broken down into our system such that it can enter the cells. So the different processes inside of how it is that we consume our foods has to do with ingestion, which is the food into our mouth. The breakdown starts in our mouth, it continues in our stomach, into the esophagus, and then into the large and small intestine, right? Then, so of course, in the breakdown process, it is exposed to hydrochloric acid, and the hydrochloric acid actually breaks down the food. Then it is also exposed to other enzymes that further break down the food, so we call the amino acid level, where it is passed through the small intestine, and that is how the food enters the bloodstream.
Wow.
So it is first of all ingestion, which is the chewing of the food.
Right.
Digestion, which is how it breaks down, starts in the mouth into the stomach, which is exposed to hydrochloric acid. Then absorption is how it gets into the bloodstream.
Right.
And from the bloodstream into our cells, which is assimilation. So those are the four processes. Now, listen to this. Whatever is not absorbed, whatever doesn't make it through the process, is supposed to be excreted.
Yeah.
Get that?
Right.
The problem is a couple of things. Number one, we're stressed. We're too stressed. As a result of immense stress, what now happens is that the food, sufficient food, is not being broken down. Right? So when you're overstressed, right, the food that's supposed to be breaking down doesn't happen.
Right.
As a result of that, it builds up in the colon. Now, whether it is that there's a build-up in the colon or the food is not digested, whatever is not digested is supposed to come out. Technically, the human body is able to digest up to 80% of what we consume.
Wow. Yeah.
For energy. However, what we're seeing in the space is that persons are not digesting more than about 45 to 60% of what they consume, which means that the stool is supposed to be big and bulky.
Wow.
But in addition to the fact that we're not digesting sufficiently, the stool size is very small.
Yeah.
So it begs the question, where's the stool?
Wow.
Like Adam in the garden, hiding.
Wow.
Because here's what we know, it doesn't evaporate.
No, actually it stays in our colon. You know, and what we've been studying a professor who really took note of, you know, the process of digestion and the whole digestive system, how we excrete, and his studies so far, you know, what we've researched thus far is stating that our bodies can hold up to 20 pounds?
50 pounds.
50 pounds
of fecal waste for as long as 30 years.
That's crazy.
As a matter of fact, his name is Adolf Ifrit.
Ifrit, yes. Ifrit,
right?
that's it.
And his work was from 1856 1866 to 1922, somewhere like that, right? He says one stool is not sufficient, right? And there is a correlation now between things like mental health
Yeah.
and stool in the colon. There's a correlation to joint pains and hard, dry stool in the colon.
There is a correlation to not being able to pass our stool, women, and being able to have children.
Infertility.
So it impacts our ability to fertilize, right? There is a correlation to infertility, right? And so, you know, a lot of us as women, we're struggling. I mean, we've gone to our doctors and, you know, we've heard some persons have different reasons, but there is a correlation. You know, one of our doctors who sits on our medical board, Dr. Louis Naro, does a complete study around the digestive system and its impact on our bodies. As women, we need to go 2 to 3 times a day, you know, absolutely.
So for the belly, right, I call it the F and F factor, fat and feces, right? So when I see a big belly, there are 2 things that ring for me: F and F, fat and feces. That's it.
Yeah.
Now watch this. If your belly, if your tummy is big, it has negative implications for your entire functionality. We don't want people to take that slight.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? So we like to say, and this is empirical data, you can actually find it, that if your waist as a woman exceeds 30 inches, listen to this. If your waist as a woman exceeds 30 inches, you are 500% at risk for the 5 major killers, which are heart disease, cancer, stroke, pressure, sugar. 30. If your waist exceeds 35 inches as a man, you are 500% at risk for the 5 major killers: cancer, heart disease, cancer, stroke, pressure, sugar. But if as a woman it gets to 35 inches and as a man it gets to 40 inches, you're no longer at risk. You will get one or a combination of the 5.
Wow. And you know what I recognize? In recent times, we've had a high percentage of persons who've reached out. And 80, or should I say even 90% of these persons who've reached out for us or assistance as wellness coaches, they're suffering from diabetes and hypertension. It's not even an either or. And when we have asked for your weight and your height, most persons are over 200 pounds, right? And here is the killer, or the kicker, as we would say in Jamaica. They just want to lose the belly. It's not possible, because if you're not drinking water, if you're not prepared to change the way you eat, if you're not resting, if you're not exercising, if you're not eating fruits and vegetables, and
lots
you're
of
just
sodas,
not going to the bathroom,
no
it's
exercise,
not gonna happen.
Right.
So, you know, as Wendell just said, the correlation, the fact that your waist is over 40 inches, 30 inches, it's not just one. You're getting both or more, right? And let's not talk about it being hereditary, because 30% of who we are, 30% of any illness is based on family gene. The other 70% is based on how we eat. It's based on our lifestyle, right? So it's so important. Like, I can't overemphasize why it's important for you to have good nutrition, why it is for you to have the 8 steps to good health. Number 1 being nutrition, right? So it really affects and impacts us as individuals.
Yeah. So I have a little thing that I do, right? When an individual calls for help, there is a 5-question questionnaire that I ask. What's your height? What's your age? What's your current weight? How much water you consume? How much hours rest you get? Describe your meal. There's over 5 questions, right? And how many times a day you pass your stool. It's alarming. In 1 month of making almost 100 calls, we never had 70% of persons who passed their stool 2 or more times a day. That's disturbing.
And they think it's normal to go 1 time per day.
Even in the gym, we're working out, and I say to someone, talk to me about your stool. That's so
every
unnatural.
3 days.
Yeah.
And they're okay with it. That's not good. That's not normal.
Yeah. First of all, you're not going to get abs not passing stool. Don't make anybody fool you. You're not going to get that. So it's not even. So it doesn't work both ways. It's not sexy, and it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Right. So you really have to find ways and means of getting that stool out. And we're going to give you positive solutions that you can go tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And start.
Yeah.
Right? You want to get the stool out and you want to get the body fat down. Let's talk about the body fat. We'll come back to the stool. For the body fat is eating the calories that you burn.
Yeah.
Right? What drives calories? Salt and sugar. Right? We eat predominantly high carb. We're a high carb consuming nation. So we eat lots of rice, lots of flour, biscuits, buns, bullas, dumplings. Those things are high caloric foods. Essentially, there's nothing wrong with them if you're burning them. So for an athlete or a construction worker or somebody who's in the sun, you know, all of that, you're burning the food. If you're a sedentary lifestyle, you work behind a desk, you don't need to be eating bun and bull and those things. It's killing you
all day,
because it's high calories and you're not burning it, and it stays there and builds up fat. I have a mortician. My car wash person he works Monday to Thursday. He works at a morgue, and on the weekend he washes cars. And he tells me, Wendell, even slim persons will cut them full of fat crowd them internal organs. You get that, guys? You don't want that, because fat is a killer, especially in the visceral area, right around this side, right where you begin to have that pure look. That's the deadly fat, and that is because we're eating too much high caloric foods filled with salt and sugar. We call it high carbohydrates.
As a matter of fact, it is very hard to lose that part, right? So we have a lot of persons. You really have to be committed, right? When we do our meal plans with you, when we do our consultation with you, it is to ensure that we are getting sufficient information such that we are able to give you the right information that you need, the right measurement, you know, how it is that you are going to be able to change and to consume less calories, more protein that's going to impact your body, your cells, such that your metabolism transforms to create that change so that you can start cutting at the belly fat, right? You know, there was something else I needed to say, but continue.
All right, so that's one, right? Cutting the body fat, right? Women, you want to have a body fat of say 25 to 28%. If your body fat over that, you're too heavy. Just get that. Men, you want to have a body fat less than 20%. If you're my age and more, right? I'm almost 50, right? In a couple months I'll be 50. You want to have a body fat of between, let's be moderate, between say 18 to 23%. If a big man look good in them clothes, 18 to 23%.
Yeah.
If you're over 23, you're not cut it, and it's going to affect your willy, right? Women, 25 to 28. If you're big bodied, 28%. Look here, 34 and 42% body fat. Kill yourself.
50. I've had a number of clients. And you know what is? Some persons really don't know the importance of that information, which is why we ask for you to consult with us. We ask that we do a wellness evaluation with you, because, you know, there's some information you're just not going to get out there. And so it's important for us to give you accurate information, right? We have our body composition skill that it just reads your entire frame, and it gives us, we know where you are and how it is that we can effectively guide you to that next step. So as you mentioned about body fat percentage, so many of us were over 40 and 50 and getting on good nutrition. I can speak for myself. When I started on nutrition, my body fat was at like 50% and my body age was like 50 odd at 37 years old. Then I was in a 50-year-old body, right? So I had to get very serious about my nutrition, about how I'm eating. At that time when I got on the nutrition, I was working in a corporate company. So I'm sitting behind the desk and there are some stresses that come with that. And so I was just packing on the weight. And then, you want to starve yourself. It doesn't work. Starvation does not work. And, some of you go to the gym, but if you don't know that, you don't have the information about your body fat, you don't know what to work on. If you don't know how much muscles you need, you don't know what to work on. So that's information that we help you with, that we're able to guide you with, to ensure that you get, the stool out and get that transformation that you're looking for.
Right. All right. So inside the body fat again, I just want to say this. If your macros are out, men, listen to what I'm saying. Once you pass 40, life begins. Right? Once we get to the 40-45 range, our body is no longer producing the amount of testosterone that it once did. That's why Willie flop. So you want to boost testosterone. 1, there are foods that you can eat to boost testosterone. 2, you actually, when you work and do resistance training like sit-ups, push-ups, reverse dips, those things boost testosterone. We say to men over 40 in the gym, work your legs. The legs are the biggest muscle that you have in the body, and it literally boosts testosterone. Testosterone is what is going to be used to burn the body fat and give you a stronger willy. Anybody get that? And it keeps the skin, the elasticity in the skin, the elastin in the skin firm. Anybody get that? So that's number 1. The other thing now is we want the doo-doo come out. We want the fecal waste to come out, because if it stays in the colon and rots, that's cancer. So let's talk about that. So I'm going to give you an 8-point plan to help you get the stool out.
Yeah.
Fruits. Talk about fruits.
All right. So we have 8 steps, as Wendell said, and fruits, very important, right? Has natural sugars, and so we recommend that you do 3 fruits per day. Now, wherever you are in the world, you want to be feeding on the fruit that's in season. God has a very good sense of humor, and he also is a planner, and so he gives us fruits in season that will match, and provide the right antioxidant for our bodies that is needed in that time. So you don't want to necessarily wonder what fruits are they talking about. Eat the fruits that are in season. They come about at the right time. They have the right amount of nutrients. They have the right amount of antioxidants inside of each of them, the right amount of sugars that you need that will cause for your body to get exactly what it needs in that time, right? So don't worry about what you need to eat, but we say 3 fruits per day, right? You can space it out, right, to give your body sufficient time to replenish and to receive the nutrients that you're getting at that time.
Wonderful. Vegetables. Now, for vegetables, we say green leafy vegetables. There is a mixture of vegetables I love, right? Kale, string bean, cauliflower, celery, parsley, cucumber. Those things, I wash them with vegetable wash. I soak them in iodized sea salt for 10 or 15 minutes, and I blend them. There are things that you need to watch. The fluff in the cauliflower and the fluff in the broccoli. I suggest if you're putting it in raw green juice that you boil it a little bit first so that the bacteria can die. Because we have had situations where persons have ingested that and it left big patches on the skin. And our assumption was that probably parasites laid eggs in the fluff, and it got in the esophagus and hatched.
Right.
I mean, that's fair. So we said boil it first before you put it in the green juice.
Right.
But outside of that, the celery, the parsley, the string bean, the cucumber, the carrot, the pumpkin, right? Excellent. And you want to do it with some alkaline water, purified water, blend that. And then we have a thing that we put in it called Herbalife Active Fiber. It has soluble and insoluble fiber that literally clean the colon wall. Look here, guys. Listen. My stool is the length of my hand. That's how I know people are dying. Let me say it again. How I know people are dying? 2 times a day, every day, I pass a stool, cake or snake, the length of my hand. And they have energy to spare. When I go to the gym, they call me the beast. Get that? That's how I know when somebody don't pass a stool 2 times a day. Every other day.
That
and they're
in the
eating.
danger zone.
That they're dying. She call it it's a danger zone. You're dying. But you get that? So one of the things that causes peristalsis, which is the movement of the stool in the colon, is vegetables. Because it gives the cells of the body phytonutrients, phyto means plant nutrients, and it also helps as fiber to aid the movement through the stool called peristalsis.
And as a matter of fact, the average adult needs about 25 grams of fiber daily, right? And most persons don't. The average human consumes maybe about 14 grams. So, the lack of fiber in our diet is also a contributor to why it is that we're not digesting properly such that we can excrete effectively, right? So you want to get more fiber in your diet. And as Wendell has mentioned, we do have a product that helps with that. It gives you the right amount of fiber that you need per day.
If you're constipated men, you're going to lose your willy.
Erection.
You're going to lose your willy. Women, if you're constipated, you're not going to feel for sex. You're going to feel bloated all the time, and yeast going to take you over. Take you some material.
And there may be a level of infertility as well. That is a big deal,
the
though.
colon is going to fall. You're going to always look like you're pregnant. It's called a fallen colon. The colon has 4 different sides to it, right? 4 different aspects to it. It's like a 5 feet rope in your gut that ends at the rectum, right? So the middle part, right, is the essential part, and when it falls out, it adds to infertility. So if you don't want your colon drop, right, and you don't have to do colonoscopy, colon irrigation, because that is going to rid your body of the healthy bacteria that must break down the food in the colon. You want to eat healthy fruits and vegetables, eat the fibers that we're telling you about, exercise. We could talk about exercise.
Exercise, very important. You want to take on exercise at least 1 to 3 times, minimum, right? There are some persons who will express, based on where they are inside of their weight now, they can't take on anything too excessive, but just walking. Just get up and walk around your home, walk around the outskirts of your home, walk around your community, right? But you want to be doing it 1 to 3 times minimum a day. Now, if you're really, really into transformation, then you want to be doing it 3 to 5 times per week, right? And so you do different types of exercise. You want to do resistance, you probably want to do some weight, you want to do some cardio, you can swim. But it's important, exercise allows us to the endorphins, right, in our body, the chemicals, he mentioned earlier about
happy hormones
and the testosterone levels in our men rose. I work out with the gentlemen of the Jamaica Defense Force as well. I'm in the gym with them, and you see the transformation, and they're very dedicated, 5 times per week. And so you really want to be getting it. I asked, so why you guys come by? Why do you exercise? It's a form of stress management, right? Which is the other thing that we want to talk about, right? How it is that stress plays a part. Now, that's an entire topic which we'll take on in another video. Stress management is important to your health. I can't overemphasize it. I've studied, psychology, and what stress management does to our bodies, even our children, right? You hear they say, I'm stressed, listen, because there are stressors that impacts our bodies, right? And these toxins that hit our bodies damages our cells, And so what it is that we're asking for, we have a lot of persons who say they're healthy, but due to stress, they're not getting well, right? Because it impacts the cells, the toxins hitting your body all over. Your body not able to, it shuts down your digestive system, which is what we're talking about today. And so the lack of being able to digest properly and excrete effectively impacts your health and well-being.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Renee. So we have three more. We have rest, right? The only way old cells die, new ones are formed, right? If you're not resting, you're not going to pass your stool. If you're not resting, you're not going to be able to pass your stool. Because rest is the only way old cells die and new ones are formed. And what comes out in the stool is dead cells. So if you're not sleeping well, you're not going to be replenishing your cells. Get that? All right. Good time to rest. We say go to bed, get into bed before 12 midnight, wherever you are in the world. If you're in England listening to this, get into bed at least 2 to 3 hours before your 12 o'clock. If you're in Jamaica, same thing. Right? Because at midnight, your brain emits a toxic chemical called beta amyloid. When that is emitted, you're able to commit new experiences to memory.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to bear that in mind. And I have a lot of people who call me to say, but I go to my bed at 9 o'clock and when 3 o'clock come, me can't sleep again. You don't need no more rest. Because 1 hour before 12 is like 1.5 to 2 hours. So if you went to bed at 9, between 9 and 10 you'll have gotten 2. 10 to 11 you get 2 more. 11 to 12 you get 6 hours sleep if you go to bed regularly between 9 and 12. 6, and then between 12 and 3, that's another 3. That's 9 hours. You don't want no more. You can get up and start your day. Start your devotion, start your meditation, wake up your spouse, make love, make certain say them are getting enough rest too. But you are living longer when you go to bed earlier. That's the whole idea. And get into bed in total darkness. That is going to aid the process of peristalsis and allow you to defecate. How do you get that?
Yeah.
All right, water. Want to talk about water?
Water, right? Oh my God. I remember when I was in corporate, it was difficult for me to drink water because I'm in AC, right? And so we have a lot of persons. I have a lot of friends and ex-co-workers who they've never had a whole bottle of water. It is as though it is a crime or water tastes bad. That's not true, right? But water is important for our bodies. One, we are made up. Majority of our body is made up of water. Water helps to produce fresh blood, right? Water helps to produce fresh blood. So therefore, if you're not drinking water, and women, we excrete once per month, right? So we need to be replenishing such that our bodies is able to reproduce sufficient that's going to be needed, right, for the next level of excretion. It refreshes your skin, it gives you allow you to get nice skin, to get new skin. Eye water, like there's so much that water does for our bodies, right? Saliva in our mouth, so much, like
detoxifies,
the detoxification,
it replenishes.
And when as it regards the excretory process, right, you need the water to help, right, to push the feces through the colon, right? So consider, especially if you're going after a cake, right, it's gonna be, I know it's a little bit gross, but it is gonna be there in the colon. It needs the water. Are you ever on a water side and there's no water? That's what will be happening to your body. That's what's happening to the stool not being able to pass through the colon. So you have to be drinking sufficient water to help that process, right, effectively.
Yeah, there are some persons who have gas, always have gas. Listen, if you're passing stool, if you're passing gas, like heavy flatulence, and there's no scent, chances are you're just passing gas. But if you're passing gas and it has an offensive odor, there is stool in the colon. Is the effervescence of the stool that you're smelling. So what may be missing, right? One is water.
Yeah.
2, fiber. 3, rest. 4, exercise. If you're passing the pool, if you're passing the wind, and you're smelling it, and you do the water, and you do the rest,
And you're managing your stress.
and you're doing the fiber, and it not coming, go jog. Sometimes whilst I'm jogging, I feel it coming. But if the stool not coming, you're dying. And if it stays in the body for more than 12 hours, it breaks down the cells in the body. We call that carcinogenic. Everybody get that?
Wow.
All cells that become carcinogenic and forms cancers and tumors and cysts in our bodies.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, God in Jamaica, we say God do. That way I deal with. In a foreign, the pass your poo. But it's not cute to hold your poo for a day.
No, it's not.
2 to 3 times a day. If you're eating 2 to 3 times a day. Even when I'm on fasting, I don't eat nothing till the evening. I'm still a pass my stool 2 to 3 times a day. That's how I know people are dying when they don't do it. Don't make me come talk to you about it again. God do that.
Yeah. Very important information.
Yeah.
So, I know you're curious to know, right? One of the final step, obviously, is what we're talking about, detoxification, right? So it's inside of our digestive system and the excretion, that whole detoxification. So we know there are different forms of and different ways that we have been able to detox our bodies, right? You will have our foot detox, and there's a lot of things out there, right? But a vast majority of effective digestive and excretory and detoxification is inside of eating properly, having sufficient fiber, drinking a lot of water. Half of your body weight in fluid ounces is what we suggest, recommend, and it works. Okay? And with that, coupled with great nutrition, which is what we're going to talk to you about, you will effectively detox your body in a healthy way. You know, we mentioned earlier about the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. We don't want to be detoxing and letting everything out. That's very popular. I don't subscribe to that kind of detoxing, because you're losing the good bacteria that is necessary to help
Break down the food in the
break down
colon.
the food in the colon
And
system.
to prevent disease. Because if your body is absent, if healthy bacteria is absent from your body, then you end up with things like night fever and corona, yeast infection, trichomonia. Those things is the healthy bacteria in the colon that suppress those things. Right? That's why we say we don't believe in colon irrigation. We want you to adapt to lifestyle situations that will cause you to poo, such that you're able to preserve your healthy bacteria.
Absolutely.
All right.
So, you want to tell them about it?
Yes, so I want to close out this video by talking a little bit about this concept that we've been using for the last 18 years. Guys, I cannot overemphasize this. If you're on the live today, or somebody's going to send you, hello Sonali, one of our business partners. If you're on the live today and you're experiencing constipation, and you're overweight, and you have too much belly fat, and you're fatigued, and you can't sleep when night comes because of sleep apnea because you have too much weight, you don't even know that, your doctor can't tell you that. We have a solution for you. It's called cellular nutrition. Let's say it together.
Cellular nutrition.
It's giving the body, the cells of the body, the nutrients it needs so that the body can heal itself. And we've been using this for 18 years.
With a company that has been around for the last 41 years. No, this is no fairy story. This is legit information that we have done for ourselves. And so we unselfishly want to share with you. We want to bring that information to the space. And we want to help you as wellness coaches to really get your nutrition to number one, such that your digestive system can be wouldn't you want to experience like an amazing digestive system?
Yeah.
Like, it is so exhilarating.
Yes.
Being able to eat and pass what you eat out so you can take in more nutrients. Like, the frustration to to not be able to go to the bathroom is just, it makes you miserable. Can I tell you? So we have a lot of people going around on the road and you wonder why they're so miserable. They're not passing their stool. They're not excreting. And so we really want to help you with the information that we have to our disposal, with the products that we live on, because it's lifestyle. This is not a diet. This is not something we try. This is something that we do every day, and we want to share it with you. So let's tell them about it.
So we start with, and I'm not going to give you a wide array of products. I'm just going to give you the concept. We start with our Formula One protein shake. It's 9 grams of soy protein, right? Dr. David Heber, who consults for us, he is the leading nutritionist for the University of California. He consults for Herbalife, right? He's the one responsible for your food chart in your doctor's office. He talks about a complete plant protein. He says soy protein is the most complete plant protein, right? 5 grams of sugar, 8 grams of fiber, 30% carbohydrate. It has all the nutrients that your body wants, macro and micro, in there, right? 1 scoop per every 80 pounds of body mass. The calmest, right? If for kids, you can give them half scoop in their formula. If you're doing porridge, I don't know why Jamaicans like porridge like that, because porridge is one of the things that fattens us up, and some of us seem to be porridge ambassadors, you know. But the protein shake, and today you can do it as waffles. On our next video, we're going to do a live waffle for you. 2 scoops of shake, a scoop or 2 of protein drink mix, an egg, a little bit of butter. You put it in the waffle maker, and in 8 minutes you have a nice 25 grams of protein meal. Yes. So you don't have to drink it. You can make muffins.
And excellent. Like, there's so many things to do with the Formula One shake. I mean, just for the kids and yourself.
Richie Spice of us, I say, they play in land. Yes, they play in land. 100 pound I calling me, say, where you get it from? And a color we are selling today. Talk about that.
The herbal aloe concentrate is like one of my favorite products. Like, every time I talk about another product, it becomes my favorite, but then they all are so amazing. So, our herbal aloe concentrate. So, let me tell you a little information. All plants have a climatic condition that is great for that product, for that plant, right? So in Jamaica, we're synonymous for coffee and for marijuana, right? Because we have the climatic condition that's ideal for that.
And sugar cane.
And sugar cane, yeah, that's true. And
Tropics.
so, absolutely. The herbal aloe concentrate, we've gotten the aloe from the hills of Mexico because they are heights above sea level, and so that level of what's the word?
The density.
The density. Thank you for that. Cause
ideal for the nutrients.
The nutrients that's coming from the aloe to be effective, right, and to be very potent, right? And so what our scientists and doctors have done, carefully doing the study to ensure that we're expending the best to you, they've also included a chamomile, right? And so there's another very effective product that's in there, right? The chamomile flower and the maltodextrin, right? Cause for your stomach walls to receive the nutrients from the meals, right? And so we call it our liquid gold. Now let me tell you something. At age 11, I suffered with a stomach issue that plagued me into adulthood, and so I used to live on Andrews and Dica, you know, those common products that we use to ease our stomach walls, you know, for indigestion, until I found herbal aloe. You know, I love this. My 11-year-old daughter is able to consume it straight from the bottle, which is why I really appreciate this bottle here, because it is consumable straight from the bottle, right? So I don't have to stop and do no, what's the word now? Like, prepare it. There's no preparation necessary because you have it and it's right ready for your consumption. Ideal for digestive health, right? And it helps your walls, the bands, the villi, to receive the information, the nutrients. It's still information because you know our stomach walls actually have nutrients, right? I learned that our stomach also has a brain. So yes, it's information to to the livers, to our stomach walls, to our kidneys, that listen, nutrients is coming in and it's flushing the system in a very effective way, still maintaining the good bacteria receiving, and such that the digestive process can continue.
That's all we'll tell you. Right? We have the herbal tea for those who want to burn body fat. Right? Tea all day, green tea from China. You know that? Chinese herbal green tea has been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Right? And it has polyphenols that are antioxidants that literally enlivens the cells. Right? And speeds up the metabolism. We can burn that unwanted fat. Fat kills. Let's say it together.
Fat kills.
So we have the things for you to help you. Link us up. Give them your number.
Alright, so 876 342 0935.
876 336 9025 or 876 430 6670. Link us up. Let's have a conversation and help you lose the fat and pull.
Necessary.
Peace.
Thanks for watching, and please call us because we are so ready to help you.
God bless you.